What's up, superstars? Back with another video. You got Superstar Rob, and you got Juju Ambassador, Superstar Bones. How you doing, Bones?
How are you? Boom, oh, boom, boom, boom. Oh, wait. Oh, no. Wait. That's actually funny. I must have used the force because I was punching the wrong way and I
Yeah,
still got you. And I still got you.
the force. You gotta do that. The force. You know, it's incredible. Not, I gotta say, Bones. It's amazing that you're able to join us and support us the way that you do. Joe will be coming a little bit later, but we really appreciate you coming on with us, and I think we're gonna have some really good discussions today.
Definitely. Superstar Nation. I love Superstar Nation. I love you guys, and the whole community is amazing. So how could you not support this daily content? It's daily content. What other channel does 24 it's insane. The daily content you guys do, you guys pump it out. You guys have lives, right? Like you guys do have jobs. So every day, no matter what, you're pumping out the content, you're giving us some good information, and it's good because a lot of people are busy in their daily lives. So all they need is the superstars to inform them on what's going on during the day, every single day.
Yeah. We had, I can't remember who was asking us on the Discord if we like work and how we're possible to do this every day.
That's
And
why I said it.
was it? Yeah. So no. We do work. That's why we do everything late at night. But it's funny too because the channel does bring in some revenue, but then we give it all away anyways. So it doesn't matter. So it's just whatever comes in comes right back to the superstars because we love doing giveaways. So guys, if you haven't already, don't forget, become a superstar. Smash the subscribe button. Join the Superstar fam if you haven't already. And hit the bell notification button so you get every single video every single day. We're going to bring it to you every single day. We do not miss. We're here every single day. And the space, like looking back in hindsight, man, the space just keeps evolving. So hit that bell button because you never know what new interesting things are going to be coming slowly through the space. We're going to stay on top of it. And also to our VIPs, thank you guys all so much for your support. If you want to become a Superstar VIP, you can hit the join button on our page. It's $2.99 a month. You can start beside your name, ask for our spreadsheets. Speaking of spreadsheets, I promise, Boundary Yo, we will be posting the only burn rate and price prediction spreadsheet for members only on the VIP.
Ooh, wow.
So if I know he's interested in that, if you're interested in these kind of things, you guys get that spreadsheet. If you like some data, we can get some data. Just caution you though, with OMI price predictions, guys, you're throwing a dart and you don't even know if you're hitting bullseye. You're just in a dark room throwing darts. You don't even know what you're hitting. So just keep that in mind. You can always reach out to us on X, Instagram, or Discord. Make sure you join the Discord in the link below if you haven't already. This is how we run our giveaways. This is how we do our main any kind of giveaway on our channel. We want to make sure we can get a hold of you. Go on Discord and join the rest of Superstar Nation. You can talk to guys like Bones right below and the rest of Superstar Nation, best nation anywhere in this digital collectible space. Also, our SUP, every single month, we're going to give away stars to all you guys. And in a month, we're going to give away cool prizes. We give away hundreds of dollars of prizes every month, and we're very proud of that. So how you can do it, you can become a VIP. You can use our CryptoAce link below. We are ambassadors. If you hit our link, you may have a chance. If you're going to buy anyways, just use our link and then let us know in our Discord, get stars. And you can also buy a Superstar Money hat. That'll get you some stars. And at the end of the month, we'll roll over 50% of all the stars you earn just so that you have another chance potentially of winning. And you all know we got some VeVe utility, guys. 100,000 OMI is going to the person who lists Joe's missed airdrop bond poster for 280 gems and post a screenshot in the verified Starboy holder chat. If you can do this, you will be entered into a raffle to potentially win 100,000 OMI. November 15th coming up. And also we got partner statue. Okay, partner statue utility. You're going to win a one-day Disney theme pass, and we can buy you the pass if you know when you're going. If you don't know when you're going, we can buy you a gift card so you can use it for Disney. And for that one, you got to list your partners for 3.33 million and post a screenshot in the verified Starboy holder chat in order to enter the raffle. Man, Bones, that was a lot because we're just giving away so much stuff. Like, it's insane. It's insane. It's crazy, and we love doing it. So we're gonna keep going with that. So I don't know, Bones. Did you see the spaces with iJustine and CEO Will? What'd you think? What'd you think about that?
I thought it was fantastic. It was a great space. There wasn't a lot of new information, right? But it was a good space for just everybody just to come to. And come on, iJustine was in this space. That was the big takeaway from it. And if you actually, though, there was some little tidbits always, if you're listening to Will, there's always some little tidbits that you might catch from what he says in regards to, like, I know he doesn't give timelines, but he does say certain things in regards to some things are coming in the next few months and stuff like that. So it's always a good thing to listen to his words, because sometimes things might slip.
Yeah, he's, you know, his vision for the app is starting to evolve, and it won't be long before I think you're gonna see a mobile app, and you're gonna see a mobile app with the potential for not just gamification, but also for AR. Let me just bring in Joe here. I see him down below. What's going on, Joe?
What's up, Joe?
This is getting pretty late. This is getting pretty late. Hashtag blame Joe.
Man.
Hashtag blame Joe.
Yeah, blame Joe on that one.
Every once in a while, you gotta give me a late one, but I'm here now. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, it was a great space. I just seen massive deal.
Yeah.
We got a YouTube royalty right now entering this space, and this is just the beginning. So excited to see what's going to happen with that. Shout out My Collectibles. We got his Dazzler comic. So that's all community utility. We know community utility is going to be the main way. We think, at least for many collectibles that have been released, especially IP licensed collectibles, to get utility. And this is also through My Collectibles member. So if you join certain membership on YouTube, you get perks such as this. So we're happy, longtime member of My Collectibles channel. You guys make sure you guys give him lots of support. Subscribe to him. You can join his memberships as well. But yeah, pretty cool. It's our colors here. Look at this, Joe. Look at this.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Canada Post bent that baby in half.
Okay, you know what? I'll tell you one thing. The male people love bending things that say "do not bend." Okay, I have won a lot of comics from My Collectibles, and to be honest, recently they've been liking the bend. So I like to say, because I live in a condo, so I like to tell My Collectibles to say, please give to security, because when you say do not bend, they bend it. That, I don't know. I don't know if they're angry. They just love to bend things. And I actually won a comic recently from My Collectibles, and they bent it. It's like hit or miss. But yeah, I don't know why they like bending it, but this comic is great. And I have a lot of drop heads, and I have won a lot of comics. That is Star Boys drop heads, the best utility in the game.
Absolutely, and that's what we got to do here, right? We want to make sure we give back to all you guys for supporting us. Thank you all so much. Yeah. Best utility in the game. I love it. Shout out like Eva. Eva hasn't been around for a while, and she came back and she posted a really nice summary of all the interviews that David and Dan have been doing. They kind of just came and blitzed. They were kind of dark for a while, and they just blitzed like 3 interviews all in one shot. There was a lot of information in those interviews. A lot of them are like an hour and a half long. I don't know, Bones, what are your thoughts on these?
I actually missed these pictures because sometimes you can't always listen to those little AMAs. So these pictures are great because it's a great summary. It literally sums up everything. It's always good to listen to it, but if you don't have time, just read these pictures. Fantastic. So I am so happy that she's back doing this.
Let's take a look here. So let's bring this in here. So she said, first of all, there's OUP progress. It's still progressing, but moving at a slower pace. VeVe typically has 3 features in development simultaneously, with bronze tickets currently being worked on. Given VeVe's significant growth, these developments take time. Transfers will be reintroduced. Interesting. With their availability determined by a user's rank. The higher the rank, the more transfer capabilities one will have, though there will be associated fees. One-to-one offers, which are part of the trade system. Users will be able to search for a specific edition of a collectible and reach out to the holder and submit an offer, even if the collectible is also the market's like OpenSea, I guess, where you can make offers. Crypto pay-in. Dan expresses his strong belief in cryptocurrency as a desire to offer it in the future, but acknowledges that there are various factors, considerations at play, making the future uncertain. Cash out threshold. The plan is to reduce the cash out threshold associated fees, with Dan mentioning as they progress into 2024. There are developments that could lead to further fee reduction. And then VeVe platform 2024. The VeVe platform will become similar to an e-commerce platform where visitors can access it without the need to sign in. And then, of course, we had that demo by Mr. Falcon and Tails from the Rizzo. I got to say, that was incredible. Those guys did an amazing job developing that demo. Like, that was just insane. I asked him how long it took him. It took him a few months.
Yeah. So Rob, we got company here. Here.
Whoa.
Too many bones.
What is up, gentlemen? Oh, you want to throw some punches?
Whoa. Holy.
Oh, man.
Oh man, Mo, how you doing? Look at the hat. You got the hat on everything.
Here we
This is
go. Look
amazing.
at this.
Right.
War hat.
What's up, gentlemen? Digital delivery on my hat. How you guys doing?
Good. This man comes prepared. Okay,
Yeah.
Mo comes prepared now with
That's
the hat,
right,
everything
man.
ready to go.
I heard you guys want to talk some gamification, and I figured I'm a gamer, so
Oh,
better
absolutely.
jump on and have a little chat with you guys. Figured looking forward to this, man. So, good to see you guys.
Yeah, thanks for coming, and definitely want to talk some gamification. I was just going through because there was on the VeVe side, there was a bunch of AMAs that just kind of came in a flurry as a blitz. There was 3 of them, and then Eva came. She did a really good summary here of all these. There's a lot to talk about, and obviously that's one of them, right? The whole the Veveverse expectations of what it's actually going to be. We're going to get to that in a minute, though. But yeah, thanks for joining us. I think it's going to be a really fun discussion.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So yeah, fun fact: drop preparation begins 8 to 12 months in advance. So when VeVe does a drop, it's 8 to 12 months of preparation. There's multiple review rounds, various stages of 3D production, with potential extensions in the case of special effects and animation. They talked about the Veveverse delay. They're saying that's due to the complex import of collectibles requiring custom scripts to ensure their identical appearance as 3D objects. Upon completing the final 30 to 40 assets, the second round of beta testing will begin with 100, 200 testers weekly. Apple Vision Pro and MetaQuest 3. So obviously it needs to be integratable. I don't know if it's going to be ready in time for when it's released, but the whole idea is that it'll be integratable. And then here's gaming. The Veveverse has built-in scripting language. There are limitations with some intellectual properties, but there'll be some degree of gaming down the line. Okay. And then they have VeVe priorities. They're all working on different aspects. They're focusing on rolling out new collectibles and comics, and all priorities are managed concurrently. Unreal Engine integration, land sale, that was a big one because we had a lot of discussion about the OUP program, about staking. You had YouTubers selling all their VeVe collectibles to buy OMI because they want the stake and be able to buy land in the Veveverse. And Dan came out and said it's quite an issue from a regulatory perspective, and there may not be an option to buy land anymore in the Veveverse. And then lastly, there's waitlist and MCP delay. Guys, there was an insane amount. I mean, we should probably come back and talk about some of these topics.
I think you should have brought up Eva's slides from like last year and see how many of them they actually hit on.
Yeah, I think we know the answer to that. But
that would have been a better comparable. But anyway.
Yeah. I mean, we should do a video on that. But for now, like this was just that was a mouthful there. What's this, Joe? You posted this. What'd you see here?
Yeah, no, I mean, I heard about the McDonald's doing the Disney 100 drop. I didn't realize that they had some kind of digital aspect to it. So shout out to Granison Prime for posting that. And it looks like you can kind of level up your toy or something. I don't know too much about this. I just was I was hoping when we brought it up today, maybe somebody would know more who has seen this. But I haven't seen this at our McDonald's or anything like that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's like. You kind of see this at like Walmart. Like you just see this exact Mickey at like Walmart. But
it's just cool. It has digital ties to it.
Yeah. And then of course Joe posted this. Did you do this?
Yeah, I made it.
Did you do this?
There's a meme generator for that.
All right, we'll come back to that. We'll finish this off. I don't think he's 30 foot away. So shout out Rising Star. Hot area of work with the what's his name? I can't remember his name here.
Johnny Blake.
Human Torch. Yeah.
The Human Torch. That's right. Yeah. So very creative. And that's it. And of course, we are Crypto's ambassadors. You can always use the link below if you want to support the channel and let us know. And we'll give you some stars to maybe win at the end of the month.
Perfect timing. Mr.
What's going on?
Hey, how's it going, guys? You doing well?
Yes, we're doing well. How are you doing?
What's going on, MC1?
Good, doing good.
I saw you on the spaces over there. How did that space go?
That was pretty cool. We were talking crypto, man. It was first of all, it was Diwali, it's just kind of music kind of stuff.
That's right. Yep.
Amelia was playing some music. Then we kind of got in talking about food, and then crypto, and then we got involved in Dr. Stuff Game, and then we started talking about that other tweet, the other topic that was big today.
That long tweet. No, that's not.
Yeah,
today we want
to still running, by the way, but. I wanted to come on. I know this is a topic that you guys wanted to cover today, and I have, a perspective on it. I'm not saying it's the right perspective or anything, but more than happy to debate this topic with you guys.
Why don't we let you start it off? Because the whole reason we thought about this was because you were on My Collectibles yesterday talking about it. I don't know. You went back on it today. I didn't see that. So I made this immediately.
Yeah. Okay. So a couple of things, right? Look, there's a perspective that if you don't have gamification, people come into Veveverse, but they won't stick around. And I'm not disagreed with the point of view that gaming drives engagement and it drives a certain type of user base. So I'm not disputing that. But the thinking that the thought that I have for people is, look, just because when you go into Veveverse, you don't have a car race going on the left-hand side with people racing each other. You don't have a shooting game on the right-hand side where people are, the snipers and you're hunting and killing. And just because you don't have, some other form of game to the left or the right, whether somebody's beating up somebody or it's some kind of fighting game or it's some kind of strategy game, doesn't mean that on day one, doesn't mean that this thing is not going to catch on and bring in people and stuff. So, that's fundamentally the point here. And there's a rationale behind it. I can share my rationale in terms of 4 or 5 different points. But was there anything else you wanted to add to the topic before we is that kind of the topic?
I just
or
want
is there more to it?
I want to preface by letting the people know that you're one of them that has the beta access right now. So you kind of have a better idea in the background of your head of maybe how you see this thing moving forward. We're just all speculation nation. So
me too, right? Because they've given us beta access where I can only see my pad and the others who kind of invite me to their pad.
Yeah.
If Disney's building something I don't know, if Marvel's building something I don't know, if DC's building something, Ron's building something, I don't like Ron. I know is building something, but I don't know enough or anything, right? I haven't seen it.
Yeah. So
But,
it's fair to have an inside perspective, an outside perspective, and then both whatever people see moving forward. So let's hear.
Yeah, and I have an NDA, so I can't share too much either.
Yeah,
but at the same time, whatever the team shared, and I can also share my points of view on things that are not, kind of there. So look, ask yourself, what percentage of the human population game is what you would consider a gamer versus a non-gamer? Anybody want to take a shot at it? What percentage you think?
I have no idea what that data is, but I guess with mobile apps, I think that you probably would be over 50% of people that actually play games to some degree.
Light gaming. 50% includes light gamers who play Candy Crush and all that type of stuff, right?
Yeah,
Gamer
exactly.
But gamer. Who are the
I think gamer. I think that's more on the minority. Maybe you're looking now at it's hard to say 1 in 7. I'm just throwing younger kids probably.
Okay.
I know Bones, you're a gamer, maybe you know better.
Yeah, I would say obviously the light gaming, that one's an easy one because a lot of people are doing it on your phones and everything. But an actual hardcore, see, I'm a big gamer, but I don't even have a PC, so I'm a console gamer, but I'm not a computer gamer, right?
Yeah.
So that's a whole different category. Computer gamers, that's a whole different category, which is much lower, I think.
Right.
But I would say an actual console gamer, it's hard to say. It's hard to say. I would say to say 50%, I think it's going to be less than 50%. I would say maybe in the 40% range.
Mo,
it's over 50%. It's over 50% for mobile games.
50% of
mobile games. Yes, I mean console
gamers. Come on.
Oh, sorry. I just talked about what console gamers that would stick around for the Veveverse. What's the question?
No, we're just saying how many of the population is would you say is a console gamer? You know what I mean?
On VeVe?
No, not on VeVe.
No, just in general.
American population. What
American population gamers over 50% in 2023.
Really?
Over 50%. I'm sure there's data on that.
So the gamers would be not console gamers, though, right? You're talking about gamers who play any type of game,
gamers
these days are universal though. It's not 1988 where you got Nintendo at home and nothing to do on the road. These games are interchangeable. You could basically cross connect. You could play the same game from mobile, PC, console, no matter where you are, right? So. That's why gaming is so massive. That's why it's the biggest form of entertainment. More than movies, more than other sort of entertainment. I'm not going to say on your show, but money driving entertainment, video game is bigger. So and that's why I think my biggest thing on what you say, Mr. MC1, is that you can sustain the Veveverse without gamification. I'll buy that. But for people like me who are gamers at heart, I won't stick around. See, that's always my topic. I'm not saying it can't survive. I'm just saying for people like me, I'll have nothing to do.
So a couple of things there, right? So my thinking on this one is when you first come in, there'll be social interaction, right? How many, if you look at what percentage of people do social media versus gaming, that was going to be my point, right? There's lots and lots of people who spend a lot of time on, oh, that's great. Now you got stats on this, right?
Yeah, just to let you guys know.
This is global, correct? This is not American.
Yeah, so it's just this is just PlayStation Network. It looks like it has 107 million monthly active users, and I'm pretty sure it's global.
And this is global. This is not American, right?
It's global. So that give you an idea. So 107.
Well, the global population is 7 billion. So
exactly.
66% of Americans play video games regularly, according to the recent study.
Okay.
And that's the other the light gaming, the Candy Crush, the nurse who plays in the middle of the day, at lunch break, and this, that, and the other, right? People, like we all do, right? Like you play some type of thing. Whether some people are playing Wordle and Quordle, and some play with Scrabble, and some people are doing something else, and Angry Birds and whatever, right? So the thought process here would be, look, there's a social aspect to all of this, right? When you first come into Veveverse, there's going to be a social element. It's who are your friends, what are they doing, to interact with each other, and the immersiveness allows you to, come in your avatar and talk to each other. In some ways, even if VeVe does not have a game, like a real game in their day one, you can interact with each other by hiding stuff in your pad where people go find it and they get giveaways and awards. You can have word games in there where you can create contests of different kinds. You can have different types of interaction around the collectibles, and there's sort of that playing of collectibles and interactivity of collectibles. You can have the interactivity of an individual with a car. You may not be a game in that there's a real race going on and there's just money and all that stuff. So to me, that first step, which is a social interaction, which includes, I wouldn't call, I don't want to insult the word gaming by calling any of those things as games, but you have that type of interactivity, which is beyond, there's some form of beyond just, talking to each other. There's activities that you can do. You can be playful. Maybe the word is playful or whatever, right? So there's stuff that you can do in that. And I think to me, that's the first step, is to bring some people in and do all of that stuff. The next thing is, this app and this metaverse is a collector's app. So, you can have collectors who can engage in things like pre-drop shows where you have comic heads, interacting and stuff. You can have actors or artists or whoever come in and they're talking and people are listening, and then you kind of go one-on-one chat with them and stuff. You can do giveaways and stuff. So you can have all the type of things that you do with fandoms you can do there. Then the other thing that you can do is you have the ability to put a white screen, right? Any room. Like I can literally, like if I'm on my laptop right now in Veveverse, I can take put a whiteboard and bring in another browser that I have open, a window that I have open, browser window, right? And it's like a screen share on Zoom, right? You do that, I can bring that in to Veveverse. So what can I do there? Well, I can share movies, right? Obviously, that's not allowed legally, right? But if VeVe has clips that they want, I streamed, Netflix in there.
It's like those NFT clips that you can buy from like sports.
No.
No, but it's like if you share it on here right after we turn off the stream and I want to show you a video, I could play it.
I had Netflix Drive to Survive, and I showed Rolly Netflix for like a couple minutes, right? So the point being, VeVe can have, or any licensor can have like video clips of movies or something. You can have screening of movies and stuff. You can have all that kind of stuff. So those are kind of things you can do. You can watch live sports. You can watch certain live events in there. Those are all different types of ways in which you can interact. My humble opinion is the immersiveness of that channel can enable you to do that. And VeVe has it very good, by the way. Just like the way we're seeing, at least on my screen, my iPad, I'm seeing like 5 different rectangles with, faces. So not only, so in Veveverse, you can actually interact, the avatars interact, but on the right-hand side or on the left-hand side, there'd be, these rectangles where if somebody turns on the camera, you can actually see the person too. So you have all of those elements to it as well. So it's my belief that, look, there's a lot of different types of immersive activities that are media, which involve media, right? And multimedia can go on. All the chat, like you guys, there's no reason for you guys to be on YouTube. None whatsoever, other than you'll get outside people not in Veveverse. But even that's a plan, right? Someday they want to make it like you send a link and anybody can join, whether you have it or not, right? So that would be sort of my thinking on this. And look, nobody's saying, the team has said that there's games and all that stuff, gamification and games and everything is coming, right? Eventually. But it's not going to be there day one. And I think there's a concern that if on day one you don't have it, this whole thing is going to be dead. People are going to go make an account and they're going to be done and they're never going to come back in. And my sense is that's not true. I believe that people will engage, true. I agree with you that if they had a game, then, people will be like locked into that game and they'll be in there for long spells of time. But yeah, anyway, that's my point of view on it. I mean, it's not a radical point of view. It's a nuanced point of view.
I think it's a fair point of view in the sense that, and I think we all agree, utility, right? I think what you're referring to now, I guess you made a good point. What is gamification, right? Like, is gamification like actually like, okay, you have a one goal, one objective, and you have to accomplish it. If you don't, you lose. If you do, you win. But is gamification more, or is that just utility? I think it's you're showcasing. Of course, you have it. You've seen it, and again, really appreciate you coming on and sharing your thoughts with us. I think it's fair to say that there could be utilities available that will keep a user engaged with the platform, which someone may or may not consider a form of gamification. It goes back to when Reese was
one
talking.
thing I plan to run in there is auctions. Like,
Right.
I would run an auction in there, Sotheby's style auction, Saturdays or Sundays at 1:00. And this could be not just VeVe stuff. This is, I've got a bunch of art, and it'll be me, Rolex, maybe Tony. We'll find Grubba or somebody, and we have a lot of artwork, or we have a lot of toys and stuff like that, and we'll have an auction. We basically say, look, this is like mint number X physical kind of thing. It's an auction. Go for it. Or we could have an auction on VeVe, but pull it up on a screen on the side, and it's the last 20 minutes of every auction. Every auction. Like, most people don't follow auctions because it's hidden. You never know. Somebody has to find it. This would be a specific time at which multiple auctions would end, and we would have like the right kind of buyers in the room, and they would go for it, right? So,
Right.
And you could have both sides of it. People that have goods that are being auctioned as well as goods. So, to me, is that a game? I don't know, but is that like?
Yeah,
I would say gamification. I think that is gamification.
I know what you mean. Like, there's different forms of it, and just to finish that thought, I do think that like the traditional thoughts of gamification probably would be the most powerful utility.
Yes.
To engage. So I see your point that you can use other forms. But when we think about the Veveverse, we think about mass adoption, right? Like, what's going to bring in the mass adoption? Probably, in my opinion, I would want to see more traditional forms of gaming. And they already have the mobile app, right? They already have the mobile app. So I think that there's a couple ways you can do it. So gamification in the Veveverse, I think, will send users there. There's no reason why you can't do it. And over the long run, I think in the early days, there'll be maybe utility that will attract at least the main user base for now. But I think they have a really good opportunity with their main mobile app. We see this with Cryptoids, for example, who wants to have a mobile app that has gamification integrated with their a mobile app, which they would like to release. Imagine VeVe had kind of those kind of games. And I'm going to say, I think it was their plan. I want to bring something up, guys, just before I let Bones and Mo get in here and pitch in. I went and pulled up the old Akomi white pages from 2018, because I remember studying this way back in the day.
Yep, me too.
We did videos on this. And I think this was their original plan. And they never talk about the Veveverse, but they do talk about a Comey Collect, which is basically the app, right? So what I wanted to say here is, Comey Collect in-app gaming allows users to interact and play digital collectibles they own, creating a further level of engagement. So this is their thought process. So it's over here. They say Comey Collect users can gain access to game experiences based on collectibles they own. For example, owning a digital collectible, and they can grant access to AR games, which can also be played multiplayer. Sure. And then, they basically kind of, here, this is the last sentence here. Comey aims to produce game content as bite-sized playable adventures, which are released on a regular basis, both as generic. So I think they were originally thinking this way. And I don't know if when they first thought about this, I think they thought about it more as a mobile app add-on rather than a Veveverse add-on. And if they could find a way to do both, then I think they can help engage that traditional gaming, style that the average, 50, 60-year-old grandmother, whatever you want to call it, they want to say make things easy for it. They can just download the app on their phone and engage. I don't know if it's going to work for the Veveverse, but it will be helpful to bring in some people in the Veveverse. I think for the app probably has a little bit more of a higher opportunity for bringing in masses to that direction. Anyways, let's have Bones go next, and then we'll let Mo, and then we'll just circle around.
So the path has changed. We've seen the white paper, and we've seen other things from the past, and we've seen how the MCP was, and we know the path has changed. In my opinion, I have come to the acceptance that right now gamification is not something that I'm looking for in VeVe. It's not, and right now in the short term, it's not something we're going to get. I have other projects that I'm looking for gaming in regards to gaming. Now, saying that though, the Veveverse is kind of like an open, little environment that you could, big environment that you could just explore and use your imagination. That is a type of gaming. We play Sims, right? Sims is a game where you actually put in, other than the missions, you put in and you make your own world, you make your own house. That is a type of gaming, to actually build your house and build your environment. So in regards to that, but I know in regards, people want actual games, they want objectives, they want missions. I just think for VeVe right now, that's not something that we all hoped for it, because we bought those Marvel Mighties a long time ago, and we bought those Marvel Mighties in hope, in speculation that there was going to be gamification, and that was shut down, right? So we know that these items that we're buying are not rigged, they're not game ready, right? We know this. So we are buying statues, we're buying animations of statues that are not ready in games. So I just think that it's such a high expectation to think that the Veveverse is going to have games from day one. It's not going to happen, and I don't think it's going to happen in the first year. I don't think it's going to happen in 2 years, but they might have little games. I just think that the Veveverse is going to be a great place to just build your Sims, like build a simulation of your house and just plop in and just do crazy stuff with your collectibles that are going to look better in the Veveverse as well. It is a type of gamification, but I just think we should not be disappointed if we're not going to get games day one. And I don't think the games are going to come anytime soon, to be honest.
Yeah, I think, look, if you think about it, what you want to do is building a game, and they're not a game studio. When you think about game studios, they have 50 people, 70 people, the big ones. The smaller ones have 15, 20 people that work on it to build a game and to release it and launch it and stuff, right? So if you think about the goal of Veveverse here, the first step is, you want the crawl, walk, run approach here. First of all, you want spaces. You want the ability for people to build their own space in Veveverse, right? Where you can have your own pad, you can have multiple pads, you can have different types of pads, you can have palaces, you can have, fortresses, you can have rooms, you can have ultra modern rooms, you can have, all kinds, whatever, depending on your, like a bat cave, and, you can have all those things. You can build that. You can bring your things into that environment. You can have a fair deal of interactivity within, the collectibles that go with each other and stuff like that, right? We also have, spaceships and cars and motorcycles and stuff, and they should be drivable at some point, right? You think that they'd be drivable. I can't comment on it right now, but look. So that in itself could be, race you around the block, race you around this circuit that I built, whatever. So there's sort of that piece of it. And then there's also this piece about, you want your end users to come in, they want them to engage with each other, you want to share content, you want to be able to buy and sell, you want to be able to watch things together and whatever, all that. We've talked about these things, right? Auctions, this, that, and the other. So all those things come first. And then, you can have VeVe built games, but remember, when you have a Veveverse, VeVe doesn't have to build everything. Once they've got this environment up and running, a licensor can build. So like, for example, in my pad in Veveverse, I have the ability to either start with something that's pre-built. I have the ability to build my own, and I have the ability to invite someone in, an architect or a designer, to come into my pad with permission to build in my pad. So if I am, like VeVe has like lots and lots of licensors. So, let's say Ubisoft. Right? Let's say there's a Ubisoft world that's in there. Ubisoft can have 50 engineers working in that space, don't care about VeVe unless there's something they need from VeVe, and build whatever they want to, right? So my sense is that it's giving, it's a platform. At the end of the day, Cavernous can support games. Unity and Unreal are both used by the biggest gaming companies. The underlying assets that are being brought in ready for Unity. And I don't know if it's game, like I don't have the technical expertise to say whether it's game ready or not, but they're assets that sit in Unity and Unreal that are used for that type of stuff. You can also have token gated, right? So just because your actual Spider-Man NFT is not the one that needs to go and drive the car, like if you have a Spider-Man ultra animated, they can token gate it, so you get like the driver, the Spider-Man driver, which kind of gets in the car and drives, right? So anyway, so look, to me, I don't see a world where VeVe would not have gamification. Let's separate, gamification, which is this sort of interactivity and that kind of stuff, some cool stuff, from light gaming to heavy gaming, right? My senses will have the the more gamification type parts first, maybe then the light gaming, and then the heavy gaming, and that obviously, who knows whether they even decide to go down that path or not, whether like I don't know about that, but I think gamification and light gaming is a natural kind of thing to it. How long will it take? I don't know, man. Like my only perspective is I feel kind of hopeful because people can build. Like when I spoke to Ron English, he said, hey, he didn't disclose anything, but he said we're building something, right? And so, well, if he's building something, theoretically he could have anybody building. By the way, Ron told me that his vision, this is like some time back, he said his vision was you'd go into a delusion well, and when you enter, you go downstairs, it's like into the basement or rabbit hole. It's like a rabbit hole kind of thing. And there's a whole underworld. And in that underworld, there's all these characters that interact with each other. And there's music and there's, anyway.
Yeah.
Look.
It's definitely super cool. Before Mo goes, I'm going to say a couple more things. It's super cool. We know that that's the thing. This is a type of gamification. Like The Sims, building your world, that's what we're going to do. So that is type of gamification. Just the gamification that everyone's hoping for is just not something that's realistic right now. It's a huge endeavor. This Veveverse is a huge endeavor. So I'm looking forward to building, and it's cool that you're going to be able to build all these certain things and start from a blank canvas and go forward. Now, one thing is that I wouldn't call that video a demo. I would call that video kind of like a showcase of a community member, because a good demo would have been like they give you a blank canvas and then they show you how you put and how you build things, right? So that would be, hopefully the next video would be the actual demo of showing the blank canvas and how you actually place things and build things. That would be a great demo. But looking at that world that person built is incredible, and it's going to be exciting to build those kind of things and just do whatever you want, for sure. But in regards to gamification in the games that everybody thinks it's going to happen, in regards to missions and stuff, it's just not the platform right now, I think, that we should look for gaming. It's just not.
All right,
That's
and
right.
let's let Mo get in here. What do you think, Mo?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with a lot of what you guys said. And yeah, gaming, can be all sorts of things, right? I mean, in a certain aspect, MCP is gamification. HRO has gamification with leaderboards and stuff like that. It doesn't necessarily have to be points scored, kicking a ball around, throwing a ball around, stuff like that. Now, that being said, because, Mr. MC1, a lot of things that you had touched on, which I love because I spent a lot of time in Unreal Engine. I spent a lot of time in, 3D modeling software, doing my own stuff. And so I appreciate all this type of stuff. However, in my mind, when I, picture this video, and that video was awesome. I think some people might have heard me and BE go back and forth and thought I was like being rude. And I wasn't trying to be rude on the actual video because the video itself is awesome. But I'm just saying from a demo perspective, what I was envisioning was like, you're at the middle of a park and it, panning down and there's like a couple NFTs kicking a soccer ball back and forth. You know what I'm saying? Just some sort of like social interaction. Now, a social platform can be good. I mean, VR chat kind of proves that. I mean, it does tons of good numbers on Steam. A lot of people play VR chat. But, for me personally, that's not why I came in. I look at the white paper. I remember, reading about racing and, setting this up and the fighting games and all that. So I'm also not the type of guy, some people might know. I'm not going to sit there and just start raising hell on the internet. You guys don't really hear me saying, don't play the Veveverse, don't do this, because I don't really care to a certain extent. I do. I want to see it do well. I want to build stuff, right? But if we have to wait for it, like Bones said, then we wait for it. I play with virtual horses all day, right? So for me, I'm just going to sit back, wait, watch what you guys build. Hopefully I get in. But I agree with, like I said, a lot of what you guys said. I just think that for me personally, coming in, I might have had a different mindset, and that very well could be my fault. So
No. That I wouldn't agree with, because if you read these pages, right, and you listened to the community speculation in the past, it's understandable that you would have thought that there'd be more gamification, almost kind of just automatically embedded into the Veveverse. So I don't think it's your fault for thinking that you're going to get it. At the same time, I do think it will be what the community makes of it. So I think the direction VeVe has taken with the Veveverse now is that they want to give something. They're not going to be providing any kind of games, right? The community will drive the utility, as Mr. MC1 mentioned. It'll be what the community makes of it. Kind of like what we're doing. Like we're giving partner statue utility by somebody being able to win a one-day Disney ticket. We decided to give that utility. It's what we make of it without relying on the licensor to do it. So I think the Veveverse, I think that's the direction they took, which is that the community has to make the best of it and people will interact. But when it comes down to is how will that translate into user retention and how will that translate into growth? And
let me bring up a point here, Rob. So, if you think about, let's say, you put your shoes in VeVe's place. You're like David Yu or you're, Dan Crothers or whatever, right? And you think about the experience that you want to create for your fans, right? You want to start releasing things as quickly as you can for the population, right? The first thing that you want to do is for people to have a space and bring in every collectible. You can't have people come in and say, for those of you who have Marvel and DC stuff, that's great. The rest of you guys have a nice day. It'll come in a future phase. That's not how you want to do it. You want to be able to bring in everybody. Every user can come in. Every user's asset can come in. And then you want that to be available readily. And you want them to be able to engage. If VeVe said, look, I want to first create the environments, bring all the assets, and then I want to build a game, and then I'm going to launch it with a game. Well, that building the game and launching with a game takes extra time, and it's going to delay the launch for everybody, right? So if you look at the logical flow of what they want to do, there's first things first is to bring people into an environment where people can build some paths and they can bring any asset in. And if you look at what Veveverse is, that ability to bring an asset in, very easy. The ability to place an asset in your space, very easy. It snaps on. It's like a grid. You don't have to measure the distance and see is it slightly crooked or whatever. It aligns. It gives you like click, 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 and it auto sets. So like when I first built Spatial, my pad in Spatial, it took me 3 days to make sure every painting was aligned and right height and whatever. This one is like, it goes in seconds. You just go click, 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 click. It goes in.
I've seen something similar with McFarlane's app. I don't know the Veveverse, but it's similar in the sense that you just have your own kind of home space, and then
snaps on,
and you could just put stuff down and your collectibles down.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you can adjust it too. But then the other aspect to it is each of these collectibles, you have the ability to change some of the attributes related to it. I don't want to go into too much depth.
Green Superman.
Example I've given is Storm, right? I spoke about Storm already. So Storm has lightning coming out of it. So you have the ability to change, the amount of lightning coming out of it and stuff like that. So, so there's that. So to me, the only point I was trying to make there, I want to make 2 points though, before you go, Rob, again. But the first one is, look, there's a logical sequence in which you kind of get these out as fast as you can. That first step is to get everybody in, get all the collectibles in and people to play. While that's going on, then you can say, okay, now I'm going to create this ability for people to do more stuff. And we don't know what the other guys are building. We don't know what Disney's building, Marvel's building, Avengers, Ron, Matt, all these people, right? And we don't know any of these guys, what they're building. James Bond, Star Wars, and they're not disclosing anything. So and they will not. Which brings me to my second point, which is, look, you guys brought up this point about, I think, Bones, you brought up this point that, look, this was not a demo. I agree, it's not a demo. It was literally it's the output of one user space that he had done. And anyway, so your point there was that maybe we should see more demos. And I fundamentally disagree with the point about any form of demos till it launches, because they are in beta right now. Like, for example, they can make a video right now that says demo, Veveverse demo, and it shows how you go into Ready Player Me. You get a link, you bring it into the right part of Veveverse, you put it in, your avatar comes with all the accessories and everything that you've got in your Ready Player Me with the hat and whatever shoes and whatever it comes in. And then, you go in, and how do you go in, set up your username, and then where do you see your friends? How do you invite your friends? When you build a space, how do you play with all the materials? There's wood, different types of grains of wood. How do you use, all kinds of materials and kind of interact and bring them together? How do you change the lighting, the different styles of lighting? Spotlight versus diffused light versus floor lamp versus whatever. There's all these different types of ways in which. And the fundamental reason I'm disagreed with doing a demo before they do the launch is because between the beta and when they release it, if there is anything that's changed, the community will basically pull out things like the way you did with, hey, they put this thing 5 days before the launch, they put this 1 month before the launch, and they didn't deliver. So I think those days for VeVe are done. And I know we may not like it. I think we can pressure the team as much as we want to, and I hope they don't cave in. I hope they build, when they're launching something, they put a video, a demo, and don't do any demos before that. Because if anything changes, people will just, literally, it's not nice to say I'm doing something and not deliver it and stuff. And my belief is that the next couple of videos from Tails are also outputs. I hope that they share more outputs, just for people to see what, people that are not professionals can build in it. And, my understanding is that they're going to do more beta. I hope they get more beta users into it, and fast. To me, the where I would be focused on is not asking for games, gamification, all that stuff. And maybe there is already, okay? It's possible that they have built it, they're not telling us. It's possible the licensors built it, they're not telling us. Don't focus on that. Focus on everybody getting into Veveverse with all the assets to build and play, and that's phase one, and let's get everybody in there. And then fast follower should be interactivity, social spaces and gamification, then games, and then more. So, anyway, that's my take on it. And I don't work for VeVe, so this is all just my perspective, in some ways.
Of course, we love to hear different perspectives, and we appreciate you sharing that perspective. I'll just finish with just the original thing, just a couple things. So I agree with you. The logical sequence, I think that expectation has already been set because we remember at DCon in November last year, they gave us that logical sequence, right? And obviously, the timelines weren't on pace, but that logical sequence, I think the expectation's been set with the community, which is you start off with that VeVe home space before anything, and then at the end, it was a Q4 of gamification. So I do believe that the VeVe team would like to do it. And I think that they at some point at least were very serious about the gamification. I just don't know if things have changed on their end because I think they're setting the expectation that's probably going to be a lot longer than maybe we originally thought, where it'd be like, you get the home space and a year later you get the gamification. And I think that when it comes down to
so many things though, right? Do you not let me ask you this question, and all of you guys, like when you talk about games, it's about level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's people who come in, they sign up, they're shooting each other, or they're killing each other, or driving, whatever.
Yeah,
that's one. But between that and just entering a space, there's more things, like you can have auctions, you can have all these giveaways, you can have treasure hunts, you can have trading cards, right? You can kind of share, you can exchange. If they bring back transfers, you can exchange things in there. You can have all kinds of videos and stuff. But he's there. Would you not see those as gamification?
Yeah. So I think every layer of utility is extremely a good thing. I'm not saying that those are not good. I just think that they're less effective ultimately on user growth. That that even small adventure type, small bits of actual gamification is probably the most effective. But I don't disagree that every layer of utility is something that's always going to be beneficial and an add-on. It's just my opinion that I think mass adoption, you do need a traditional form of gamification. And I'm not saying it has to be, you got to go and shoot people like you see.
No, I like Sanjay's idea. Before I got rugged here, my breakers went out, my whole house turned off. You guys are speaking too much heat here. I had to go and reset. I was being an electrician over there, but I'm back now. I think I figured out the culprit of the situation. But no, I really like that idea, Sanjay, that you brought up about doing a scavenger hunt or something like that effect, where you get that type of interaction. And that's something Rob mentioned is a user-generated content, user-generated game. But I feel like that has to be the way to keep people engaged. I can't see, and forgive me, but I can't see people going there to stand around in a circle with their heads on a screen on their head and just talking, right? Because you can do that on Discord right now. I can go on their Discord, I can chat there, I can share my screen, I can share my YouTube, I can do what I need to do over there. It's just something that only caters, in my opinion, to the people who are already here, who understand about the product, who know where to go. Like, if you want to bring people in, you want them talking about the thing, right? You want them to say, like, I was here and this is what I did and this is how much fun I had. It's not going to be enough to just do something that another social medium does. Did
you guys see Spatial? Right? Did you see Spatial's evolution on this?
Mm-mm.
So Spatial basically had just pads where you can go in and do stuff. Yeah. Then they had the ability to drive stuff. So I think about 8-9 months ago, there was a Star Wars simulator in there. I could get on a Star Wars craft and drive. It was not a game, but I could drive around, right? I could drive a car. I could drive this. Then they created this game where there's a hut and you go in and it's like finding something. If you go in, you find something, and then you kind of get something. Like an escape room. Now they've got games in there, like driving games, racing games in there, in Spatial. It just came in, I think, recently. So, to me, if I had to guess, I would say VeVe would go through the same kind of journey, except a lot of the stuff that's out there, people are building their own stuff. Mm-hmm. VeVe has like Lamborghinis and, all these other Aston Martins and stuff. And so, what would Lamborghini build, man? What would Lamborghiniverse be? You think it's going to be a showroom? It might start with a showroom.
I can tell you what I would do.
Be a racetrack with Lamborghini.
Well, you guys talked about it. I mean, listen, you could do auctions, you could do everything, social platform, plus like everybody does. But what if you could walk out the door and I had a Lambo just going up and down the street, automated, scripted, bam, but I put a hitbox on it. And I say, if hitbox X touches player, do 100 damage, and every player has 100 damage. So now, instead of just listening to an auction, you can just run across the street and try to play Frogger. Or I can make moving platforms.
Yeah.
You could try to get to the top.
You
know what
need
I'm saying?
death.
Like,
we need death.
but
Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Minecraft.
That's why they need to put me in. I don't know if that type of scripting is available,
Yeah.
but that's what I do on a daily basis, and that's the
I'd love to
easiest
see-
form of gamification available.
I'd love to see if that happens or not. But the demo that Dan did in Decon, he was driving. He was driving one of those mobiles. You saw that, right? You guys were there.
Yeah.
You went in there, you got in a car, and you're driving, right? Now, there may be a difference between the version, the beta version that we have and the version that VeVe is kind of working with and the licensors have or whatever. But my understanding is they're script-based. People can do shit in there. That's not just, like placing stuff. So I think that whole programmable side of it will come down to community. I'd love to, I think somebody in the community is going to hack this and build some kind of like a very fun game very quickly when they get in, and that is going to blow people's minds. That would be my guess.
I mean, I've been breaking games for Ubisoft and EA for over a decade, man. Like, it's what I do, so I'm dying to get in there and test it out.
Well, let's get you in there, right? Hopefully you get into the next, next version of it. The next, I think they're going to be 50 to 100 people. Sorry, guys, I've taken too much talk time here, so why don't I just shut up and we'll let.
No. This is you could speak as much as you like, but let's give a warm welcome quickly to superstar Omi Daily Burn. Thanks for joining us. How you doing?
ODB.
What's up?
How you doing, man?
Hey, how you doing?
Pretty good. Thanks for joining us again. Usual attendance every weekend. Joining us in Super Spaces. Once you get in here, what do you think? So, do you think? I guess the question has to be: does the Veveverse need gamification? That is ultimately the question. What do you think?
I don't know if it actually needs gamification, but it needs to be able to have like people customize it, on that end. It doesn't have to be specifically games. I mean, if you can create a whole economy in there, I mean, that's what's going to draw people in. Creating a platform with allowing the users to actually create the actual environment is actually a good idea, and that way it leaves them to actually build the infrastructure, and then the users take over from there. And if you have a passionate community like VeVe has, then you're going to have a lot of people creating things in there, and that's what's going to draw other people in as well. And it's just going to be a process with that. So
user-generated content, man. UGC
Exactly.
drives some of the biggest gaming platforms out there. So.
Yeah, I mean, just like Facebook created a platform, and LinkedIn or whatever it is, everybody creates the content in there, and that's how it works and functions.
So do we think that, let's say, the Veveverse, we've talked a lot about it. I think we all know it won't come right away. We all know that and expect that. I guess the question we have to ask ourselves: do we think that long term for the Veveverse to ultimately be, let's say, the place to go? We heard people talk about the Amazon, the Walmart. Is the Veveverse the go-to place? Is it a success? Is it generating growth through new users? Does it need gamification? This is, I guess, the ultimate question. What's the answer?
Do you want it to be like a metaverse, like that Wild World thing, or like kind of like where you can actually go around and do whatever you want? And
I think the more you let it be customizable, kind of like Minecraft type of thing, you got to take into account there. You got to make it where you can build your own world, your own experience. But I think you got to have some kind. In terms of gamification, could be as simple as I'm alive, I'm dead. Like, this is what happens. You respawn from this spot here. If you run into a Lamborghini on the street, like Mo's example, as long as you have that switch or something that you could have some kind of a consequence or a reward in-game reward, in-game consequence, I feel like that could be something that really changes it and levels it up, because then now your user base and your user created content just it's crazy. If you can't do that, like, how do you create a game? I guess scavenger hunt might be one example where you don't really need to die or live, and whoever finds things, but then you would have to have like all this, I don't know if it's an SDK or whatever you call it to set up these games, if that's even available or will be available.
They mentioned like TypeScript or something like that.
Yeah.
You'd be able to code in there.
Yeah.
It's just like a JavaScript or whatever it may be.
Is that going to be from release? Do you guys know? Or is
It
that
should
just
be.
no?
It
I don't know.
should be, because that's kind of like it's built out of the box like that, right? That's what was mentioned, at least for some.
Yeah, that's what was mentioned, but I mean, I don't know for sure, man. Like, you can comment on that for sure.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be any of these like games right off the bat. I think it's going to be a lot of the community, generated stuff that we're going to be involved in. And the first time I jumped into Sandbox, I just tried it. It was the first game was like a scavenger hunt, and it's the most easiest thing.
Oh.
So I think that's one of the things that is going to be, the easiest game that they can do is a little scavenger hunt. There's going to be worlds you can go into that's going to be generated by VeVe, and you're going to be able to, search for, I don't know, VeVe something, VeVe gems or VeVe, like there'll be little VeVe like coins or something you can search for.
Yes.
I think that's like a little easy one. And as well, we know that we've heard that, they've already started building MC1. Have you seen some of the racetracks that some of the beta testers are building? And how good do they look? Have you seen
in Veveverse?
Yeah, I've heard there's some.
I've seen
racetracks.
one, but I can't comment on it, man. It's not fair.
Okay, but yeah, so there's what we can do races.
It looks cool though.
Yeah,
cool.
and even just that, we can do races without VeVe having any involvement in saying, you know what I mean? We can have a start and we can have a stop.
So and shit. It's got stadium style seating and shit for you to watch.
See, okay, now we're starting to get some little.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's gonna be able to get in a car, drive it, race it, finish line timer, all that shit.
He's getting ready for that.
Yeah, I don't know. Look, dude, like, but I've seen one which is pretty cool. Look, whatever you guys want, I think will eventually happen. But I don't think, if you're setting the expectation that this is going to be a PlayStation, when you go into Veveverse, you're going to get game 1, game 2, game 3, game 4. That's not what this is. You're basically going to go into Veveverse. It's going to say, "Hi, Rob. Hi, Superstar Rob. Here you go. What do you want?
Yeah, but
you want a palace? You want to, what do you want to build? You want to build?
I want pink. I want stars.
Yeah.
I want a universe.
You got all those things.
I want a moon.
You get
Number
all those
one,
things.
if you're a fan
and you can get the color. You can get the color of the sky too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
you
if
can put
you're a
whatever you
fan
want in the sky
of
and on the
Sims
floor.
games, if you're a fan of Sims games, you're gonna like the Veveverse because you're gonna be able to build whatever you want. You're gonna build your house wherever you want. So that's
I
number
play
one.
Civilization, man. I love
Yeah.
Civilization.
Yeah.
Roller Coaster Tycoon, like all these type of building games, right? Yeah.
But there's some low-hanging fruit too for VeVe if they really wanted to. You guys mentioned, jump in, right, collect coins and stuff, collect gems. Well, what if, we all know, right, the wait list opens, half hour before drop.
Yes.
So open the doors and basically they put a hidden thing at the top of a building and let's say they reserve 500 spots.
Yes.
For the first 500
Yes.
people that join that lobby and find the scavenger hunt for that drop. Like,
No, I'm gonna
that's
run that.
easy.
That
Like,
I
that's,
like.
That's
I
in
like.
my pad. I want to run in my pad. I can do it today. I can.
well,
race
but you
it.
can't. Well, but you wouldn't be able to reserve spots for a drop like VeVe could. You know what I'm saying? They can make it official and say, listen, if you find this, you're guaranteed to get access to today's drop. So that could force the engagement and drive people to come in. I've had the idea instead of a wait list, let's make a fight list. So everybody gets in, and it's just battle royale, and the last 1,000 or 2,000, however many mints there are that day, that many people left standing get the drop,
That's
right?
good.
So
Yeah,
I guess-
Rumble.
Races too. Yeah,
Yep,
races
exactly.
too
Royal
as well.
Rumble. I'm
Yeah.
thinking like the
But
old
you need to be
WWE
able to
webs.
die.
Yep.
I think I'm gonna invite Dr. Rolex to my pad tomorrow, and keep like a bat or something ready, and try and hit his avatar over and over again to see if any blood comes out.
See what happens.
what
You got to start making a tower, Sanjay. You got to make a tower, and then whoever climbs the tower the fastest wins, or something like that. Like start making like that kind of.
But
like
if I
Fudgy
shut the
Penguins.
door, if I shut the door on him, he can't come through the door.
It's funny, Bones. I actually asked Reese in one of our AMAs because they talked about how in the Veveverse, originally in the white papers, maybe you can find in the scavenger hunt only tokens. You can find secret or collectibles. You can find these things. And I think he mentioned though that they maybe have shied away from that now because of like regulatory issues. So I don't know. I don't really know. Yeah, I don't really know how that scavenger hunt is gonna be. But like I thought, when you mentioned that about it'd be cool if we could like find like VeVe coins. I don't know if they're gonna have some.
No, but they're
kind of,
doing giveaways. So leave the drop mechanic for a minute, right? They're doing drops on Discord, right? Go into Discord, you play games, they give you these things, right? Why would they not be able to do it in Veveverse?
Yeah.
So you do
There'll
a
be
bunch
like a
of shit, you get
Veveverse
something.
coin. There'll
May
be
not
like,
be like
an
a-
off-chain currency that's
Yeah,
totally
they do
just
that.
the Veveverse
At
coin.
Discord, they
Like
give you
Discord
that, what is it called?
VXP.
It'd be like the Discord
VXP.
points.
XP, something like that.
I've been ranking up a lot on that.
Whatever it is, I mean, at least in the beginning, I think they should have like you're talking about scavenger hunt or whatever, but they should have some kind of like way for a user to be able to get acquainted with the whole environment. Say, hey, go do this object and go take that and go over here, and then you get a reward at the end. So it's kind of like the initiation of, this is how you use the platform.
There's
so
a good explanation, by the way, that exists today. When
Yeah.
I went in, it showed me, what commands to do and stuff like that. And there'll be some videos on it as well. Like Dan had made a video for us to show us how to kind of, set things up. So there's a good, the demo that you guys are looking for. I've seen the demo when I went in, so it's really good.
Yeah.
And then when you go into the environment, every time there's an option to go see, like learn the commands and stuff like that, so you can get familiar with it. The other thing you can do in there is concerts. You can have like all these music spaces, rap battles, all that stuff can all go down, You can have all these very entertaining kind of spaces in there.
But
That
you only
actually
have
reminds me
like
of
15
ODB.
people or something like that nearby.
I'm sorry, say that again?
You can only have like 15 people nearby you or something like that for that sort of thing, a concert, because it was like, only the
You have both
people nearby
options
can
to-
actually, you can't have 1,000 people, can you? I mean,
I don't know I don't know the limits, and I can't
Yeah.
talk about the limits and stuff, but it's, if you look at Spatial, the way Spatial operates, you have the ability to turn on a switch where you can have 250 people in a space, and everybody can hear what everybody say, whoever's mic is unmuted. But you also have the ability to turn on where only the people next to you can hear you, so multiple conversations can go on.
cone of silence, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know what they call it, haptic, or I don't know what they call that, but the sound, the sound barrier kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Sound sort of.
There's like an easy way to do gamification too if they have Veveverse XP points exclusively for Veveverse. So you can say when you go into the Veveverse, put up 4 walls and connect them. You get like 100 XP. Put a roof on, you get another 100 XP. You know what I mean? Like that's
exactly,
type of sims that. So maybe there'll be type of things like that's an easy gamification. You get XP and then you can access other things, or you can go into other just by using the building feature and the building functions. You get XP for doing certain items and you get achievements. Like that is an easy gamification.
It's getting people acquainted with the platform and
Yeah.
actually used to it, and then they,
Sure.
it's like, because when you're not familiar with it, you're like start getting frustrated. You're like, I don't know how to do this.
Yeah.
But if you had some kind of showing you, and then you start doing
Yeah.
some of these things, then you're like, oh yeah, I could do this or whatever. It's
Yeah.
no big deal. But then you start creating.
If this type of tutorial, that has XP based in the tutorial that helps you go through, that would be cool too.
They
I'll
could
take it a
consider
step further.
MCP.
Target.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mo.
I would say take it a step further, right? Like they could do a drop on like a non-normal drop day and say, hey, for you builders out there, whoever put up 4 walls and a roof, we're going to unlock this special roof tile or a special, wallpaper or something like that for you guys that actually completed it. And it will actually, again, drive engagement, force people to be like, hey, maybe I should just get ahead of the curve. And maybe a lot of you guys did this on HRO. Where it was always like, oh man, I don't really want to do this, but I should probably get ahead of the curve and just get these points and do it now while it's early, right? Like you didn't know what was going to happen. I imagine it could turn into the same thing on the Veveverse. So
I think it's the best way to kind of describe it is a full-on metaverse. It's integrated with Ready Player Me. You can bring in all your avatars with all your accessories and stuff. Like I could bring in my Gucci, Vogue Singapore gave me like a jacket, gold jacket and stuff. I have another avatar with Tommy Hilfiger with a hat and a different thing. I bring both of them in, and the social. I won't cover it in too much detail. I think I've talked about in other spaces too. But the social side of it is very good. It's A+. Just the whole when you come in and how you interact with people is A+. Better than Spatial, by the way. Very good, and a lot of different ways in which you can interact, which I think sort of enables the engagement with an immersiveness, which can enable light gamification is all the things we talked about and maybe more, right? And then if you think about the materials, they're very, very good. Just that ability, they're very easy to use. So the building side of it is very easy and very high end. There's a lot of like the gold shines and the wood grain and the color and the texture and that side of it is incredible. And maybe Spatial wasn't as incredible, but I'm sure that a lot of things, the games that are done with Unity and Unreal have stuff like that. I don't know how much of that the users of those games do any of that stuff in their paths, right? Here you get to do that. You get to build your garage. You get to build your bat cave or your whatever you want. And that's very, very nicely done, very special. It's easy, it's click, 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 very easy to kind of put together just the environment and put things in there, the animation. And VeVe has also taken the time to upgrade and redo some of their collectibles to bring it in. Like literally when I first went in, there were not that many because there were agencies that were working on it. They kept adding them more and more. And I think the reason that the beta got, is in so first week, second week, or whatever, third week, whatever it is because they're just getting the final lot of things in. But those collectibles, like the golden moments, and it has all the levels, right? It has 5-6 levels of different qualities at which you want your space to show up. So if you have a super high device, great device with, gaming kind of computer with all that stuff, and with all the, like the horsepower and everything, you would have the ability to see everything in just super high, like freaking the gold is, shining, and you can go and, clean your teeth on the gold out there and that kind of stuff. It's got that kind of, quality to it. And then you can also take it down quite a lot, but it moves a lot faster and smoother and stuff. So that whole, quality of collectibles, artwork, and the animation, just if you're thinking about a gallery where you invite people and you're showcasing, your collection, this is very highly conducive to something like that, and it's very beautiful. And then, the other part of this would be just the outside part. VeVe has lots and lots of these spaceships and cars and gadgets and stuff. So all of those things you can blow it up to any size. There's a good definition to it. You can walk inside them. Like the Romulan, the Romulan actually looks so beautiful, man. The detail on it is amazing. It's on the side. I've blown it up. It's connected onto my pad, and I walk inside it. And similarly, even the Star Wars crafts, I walk inside them. Now, I won't comment on driving and drivability and stuff. Obviously, what you saw in Dan's, actual kind of the one that he was doing in a demo he did in Decon, that's your best answer for now. But yeah.
Which was what? What was the demo? What did it show?
You could drive, right? You had like all the cars and this and that and stuff, right? So you saw the pad and then how you went around.
I didn't see it. I mean, just for everybody else. I mean, even for myself. I mean, I wasn't there. So I mean, if I don't know if you could explain that. I mean, that's not under NDA, so.
I mean, yeah, it's been a while since I've seen that demo as well, so I don't have full clarity on it, but somebody could probably get you the full kind of what exactly happened in that thing. Right?
Yeah, it's probably better than if you already have kind of have to be quiet about what you know. But so in Decon in November, he showed a video of kind of his home space. So you saw his home space with lots of collectibles there, and you saw an avatar walking around.
That part I saw. That was like on from afar. But was there anything like literally shown, in the headset maybe that that wasn't shown like in that that space, but also he wasn't showing like driving in the car in that one as well, right?
I don't think he showed driving in the car in that one, but I think it's like it's already very well known that we will be able to drive in cars
at some point.
Yeah, we know
like
that's
the
coming.
version that we have is a beta version, but may not be the beta that they're using, right? They might have the next iteration of it or more advanced iteration. They may have only unlocked some features for us in the sandbox that we're in, right? Or the playground that we're in. And the others might have something different. So I don't want to comment on any of that stuff. So
we have the AR feature that we can drive in AR. Why can't that be in our showroom? It's the same feature, right?
You'd ask yourself the question. If Cavernous has other applications on it using Unity and Unreal that do that, why would this not do it? Right?
Yeah, I think again it's all
kind of simple as that, right? Why not?
I think when it comes down to again, it's the original question on how important is the gamification. I think in its early days, I think when this beta finally converts to being available to everybody, I think that the community will drive the utility. The community will make the best of it with what they can have available. And as time goes on, I think it's going to naturally happen, but I think it's a necessity that they will have forms of gamification. I think doing videos and auctions is great, but I don't think that's enough to really bring in new users. So the early form of the Veveverse, I think, is going to be something that definitely all of us are going to interact with. We're already in the community. We have collectibles. We love it.
Yeah.
And then as it naturally, organically begins to expand, as the community starts using it and showing more people join in, and maybe all the guys on the Discord, they start heading over to the Veveverse. We start doing our YouTube videos live in the Veveverse. We start doing things like this. And potentially, as it organically grows, people start bringing in their own games, community created games, potentially a Comey generated games, potentially licensor games. And I'm not talking about the games that the metaverse games that we've seen with like shooting and, you know, there's money and all that. I'm talking about it could be even like bit-sized adventurer games, whatever. I think as that happens, you might start getting interest from other communities that are like, this is pretty cool. Let me join in as well.
I think
one question I have for you, you know, maybe Mo knows it, or Bones, you guys know it, or maybe other guys know it as well. So when this Apple, you know, Vision Pro comes out, I think that's going to be a big kind of noise around it. And so it's almost like, you know, when the iPhone first came out, there's like this app store, and which was the most popular app and stuff like that, right? So do you guys have a sense for, let's say the Apple Vision Pro comes out, you know, CES, this is for argument's sake, say it comes out at CES. What would be the top, you know, metaverse type apps in there that would attract, you know, like, now that you got it, what do you do? What do you do with it? You know, with Quest, it was VR chat, right? VR chat was the first thing that you went into, and then you kind of said, oh, well, spatial is an app, and this is an app, and that's an app, and you can go do all these other things, right? Do you guys have a perspective on that?
I think.
Go, Bones.
No, go. You go.
No, you good. You go.
No, I was just gonna be like, that is gonna be more towards AR heavy. So I think they're gonna introduce so much more cool things like the sports, right? Look at the sports and how you can view sports games. That 3D tabletop and its own, you can see it and you see all the plays. So there's gonna be all new things integrated into the AR feature than VR. That especially the Quest 3 is more AR focused. So augmented reality into your own space. So a lot of those games, like I play my Oculus 2, and I love Walkabout Mini Golf. Walkabout Mini Golf is such a good game because there's a huge social aspect. I have a friend that lives in Costa Rica that I can literally, I hang out with him every night. And
we should play, man.
And Mo, you have
yeah, brother.
Walkabout?
Brother.
Mo, what's going on? How come we're not playing?
I don't know.
I play all the time. I buy, dude. They are consistently making new courses it seems every month.
All right, we'll talk.
Okay, Mo, we're talking. Mo, what do you think?
No, I mean, I've been on record. I people are like, oh, you're crazy. Look at the price, this and that. I think the Apple Vision will revolutionize how we pretty much engage with everything in this world. Yeah. Those glasses themselves, no. But when you shrink them down and put them into Ray-Bans and Oakleys, and I'm driving down the street and I look over and I see America Chavez blown up in front of a house, and I'm like, there's a VeVe user. Or it's some sort of interaction like out at a local park or something, kind of like Pokemon Go, right?
Yes.
Again, there's all these different things you could start to bring in. I'm a huge fan of AR. VR to me, I enjoy it. But AR, I think, is where it's at, you know, because I love getting out. I love being active. But if I can, you know, shoot hoops or play hockey and have like a UI while I'm playing, you know, like that'd be sick.
You have a scoreboard, right?
Yep, exactly.
You say, hey, what's the score? And you look up and you see it in the sky right there. It's just like whatever it is.
I think to Sanjay's point, though, like the app that's going to take over is going to be the app that's there from the beginning for the mass user base who buys this on launch date, and they're all going to flow to that whatever is available. So I feel like VeVe's got it looks like they're trying to be ready for it. So I think if they are and they're ahead of all these other guys and they got the IP, they have a shot, right?
And we always
you know, the question is, does VeVe or something like VeVe, just this whole genre of metaverses gain, you know, popularity, meaning for every 100 people that buy the Vision Pro, what percentage of them would have a metaverse installed in it day one versus a month later versus a quarter later? And of those, which one, you know, what would VeVe's share of it be versus, you know, Spatial versus Sandbox versus whoever else, right?
Yeah. And like what I was going to say is that like when you're talking about what percentage of the world are gamers, I'll tell you right now, the percentage of the world that use VR headsets is very low. Very low.
Exactly.
Very low. So
they're bulky.
We are so early. Yeah.
And I had
bulky,
one, and it stopped working, and I threw it out. Quest 2. It just like I did everything. I did VR chat. I played the whole Skyline game with all the stuff. I played all the knife fighting with OBL and with Tails and these guys. Did all those things. Partied in somebody's pad, midnight, whatever. Whole thing. I did a whole bunch of things. And then the one fine day it stopped working. It threw it out, man. Now I gotta go get another one. But I'm like, okay, I probably want the Vision Pro.
You know,
I'm gonna ask you guys a serious question. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say with the Vision Pro, like when I think Vision Pro, I think of AR interaction. Okay, that blew me away. The guy stick his arm out and the thing went on his arm. It's the AR interaction that brings the whole level. I don't think like I don't know if the Veveverse, because I've never experienced it. I don't know if it's going to be interactive in that sense. I think that the best interaction we get is geolocation. If the Vision Pro does have any kind of capabilities of geolocation and Cavernous can offer. I don't know how the technology works, but if they can offer geolocation with the Vision Pro, where you can walk into my room, see my white walls, and I can put the Vision Pro on, and it's always geolocated. My VeVe collections are geolocated. I think that will be a utility that I think will be very beneficial, and then people would be maybe more willing to lean on getting officially licensed ones. But that interaction blew me away with the Vision Pro. I don't know if VeVe's going to have that, but it's like a whole new ball game. Like that's just
you just gave me a sick idea, Rob. I'm thinking if that worked, you could be chilling, you could be driving a motorcycle, you could own like 20 Ghost Riders and just have them geocache right to you, and they could be rolling behind you, so anybody else has got the glasses on would see the whole Ghost Rider crew on the road. That would be pretty sick.
That is a sick idea. Now, I spoke to the CEO of Cavernous at Decon. We went up to him, and at the time, they actually were kind of willing to do an interview with us. I think they talked to VeVe and that got cut down. And they got shut down. I think that's what happened. And we learned that that's for sure the case. But so I talked to them, and I talked to them about geolocation, because my view of VeVe collectibles when I first started VeVe collectibles was the geolocation aspect of officially licensed collectibles. I really like that actually more than the game, because to me it was cool that I can walk into a physical room with my friends. And when that technology hit a point where you could have geolocation on any digital collectible, and you can use it to decorate your room and create an actual AR room, so not just VR, an AR home space, that would really take it to the next level.
We can put a painting on those white walls behind you.
Right. Right. So he told me at that time that the industry was kind of saying we're 2 to 3 years away from really having that integration. That was back in 2022. So that tells me if it's on schedule, that's a 2024, 2025 goal to have geolocation integrated into these metaverses.
Have you guys interviewed Dr. Prophet?
Sorry? Have you
interviewed Dr. Prophet?
Have we heard? Of course, yes.
No, have you interviewed him?
No, I mean, if we would love to interview him if he would be willing to. Absolutely,
because he is is very deep into AR, VR. He's up to speed with all the developments in it, and he plays with the stuff. And you've seen some of his posts as well, right? So
we'll
if I were you, I would reach out to him and
definitely,
and, ask him to be on the show and set out the parameters that you would like to cover with him.
Yeah, we've spoken to him. May not
end up being video, YouTube, or might just being Twitter Space or whatever. But I don't know for sure. But you'd have to ask him. But I tell you, he'd be one of the top guests that you can have on this topic.
He's quite clever on video, so I don't think you'll have a problem. I don't have a problem on video. I mean, Mo gets the idea of what you can do on video if you wanna hide.
I've done a Zoom with Dr. P, and he did this same thing, something like this.
Same with us.
I just want to follow up on the AR. I don't know if you guys want to wrap up that section of it, but in my mind, right, the best way that VeVe can approach it, first of all, day one, if they're ready with Apple Vision. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but if I put on Apple Vision for the first time and I turn around and I see, I don't know, a sandbox character, a spatial guy, and Spider-Man, I'm walking towards the Spider-Man. And I'm not even a comic book guy. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like a no-brainer, right?
That was a question, really.
Right. So, no, I know. I'm just, obviously stating the obvious sometimes. But in my mind, I'm saying, okay, let's just say there's a new Spider-Man movie coming out, whatever, 2025. The day the movie releases, VeVe does a drop. If you get that drop and you own it and you roll into the theater to watch the movie, it recognizes where you are, what you own, and it transforms the entire theater into like a giant web. And that you're watching it from inside like this crazy other experience, right? That's what people want. I'm telling you, man, that's what's going to drive this whole thing.
Yeah. That's right. And that's, nobody knows how these things will shape out. But I know Dan said in the last thing that they're already, Apple Vision Pro compatible in terms of their dev work. So I don't know what that means, but we'll hopefully, on day one, hopefully Veveverse is live before that, like for the masses, before the Apple Vision Pro. And when it comes out, there's, that ability to say, hey, listen, whenever they do their big rollout launch party or whatever, there's like, Disney goes in and says, hey, there's this app that we're with, and, they'll show like a Spider-Man or whatever, or one of these things kind of flying, one of the cars being driven, one of the characters kind of doing something. That would be amazing, man. Like known brands like Spider-Man or something like that. That'd be pretty cool.
Well, if Apple was smart, they would actually just partner with VeVe. And the opening thing, when you put the glasses on for the first time, would be Spider-Man dropping down, upside down, like the one we have on the app. And it should be right in your face, showing you the power of AR and what it's going to do to you. And that would blow people's freaking minds. And they'd be like, wait a second, this is an app? Oh, it's VeVe? Bam, click on it. Like, I'm telling you, man, there's so many things they can do to just, get out there. Yeah. It's so good. I mean, they got the IPs.
I think if the Apple Vision Pro had VeVe in it day one, it's just because it's so expensive. I think it would be cool, but I think we just need another version, another cheaper version for the masses, because this one is like, it's almost like a proof of concept. This in regards to the AR like functionality, it seems like it's going to be revolutionary, and I think we just need the next version to be cheaper. And then, but if it is if VeVe is there day one, imagine that would be amazing. But again, I wouldn't be able to buy it because I can't afford it, right? Myself.
There's two parts to Veveverse. As an end user, what you have, and what the brands have. And my sense is that Disney ain't going to show up with a museum with Mickey Mouse in the middle. I don't think they're going to show up like that. And I'm pretty sure Ron is not going to show up with just, like some artwork on the walls. And I'm pretty sure Lamborghini is not going to show up with freaking just the Lambos parked up there. No. I think these guys are going to have highly immersive, interactive kind of things. Hopefully some light gamification with those guys, whenever they do their stuff. And even them, if it's not phase 1, phase 2, man, make it fun,
So almost on an hour and a half here, guys. I think we had an amazing discussion here. I'd like to thank you all for coming on. We're gonna just, before we close out, I'm gonna go one by one. Everyone give their final thoughts. We're gonna ask you the final question, which was the inspiration of today's topic, which is, does the Veveverse need gamification? We'll start off with Bones first. What do you think?
I think in the long term, I think it will help, and I think it does need gamification in the long term. And again, gamification means a lot of things. It doesn't mean the simple mission-based shoot, first-person shooters. There's Easter egg hunts. There is racing. There is even just like building, where you get XP for building something. So there's all different types of gamification, not the gamification that we think of when we think of console gaming. So yeah, you know what? There will be gamification, and I think it does need it. And I think it'll be a whole economy. As is built, as I always say, we are in the MS-DOS of Web3 right now. Just wait. We are very early.
All right. Mo, you're up.
Yeah, I mean, kind of echo my opening statement. I don't think it needs it to survive. I think the data and the stats support that, again, with VR chat and other sorts of social platforms. But I think to retain people like me, it absolutely does. I'm a gamer at heart. I'm a gamer first and foremost. Didn't grow up collecting comics and collectibles, but I think they're cool. I enjoy the IPs. Mark Cuban said, follow the money, right? So that's what I do. And, we got to remember real quick, there's a sediment, there was a sediment back in the 70s after the Magnavox and between the Atari and moving into ColecoVision Nintendo days, that video games were a fad. Video games were dead. They're never gonna make it. And look at them now. So it's actually, if you go back and look, it follows the same exact trend lines as NFTs and digital collectibles. So if you don't pay attention and look back far enough, history will repeat itself. And that's pretty much all I got.
All right, Mr. MC1.
Yeah, I would say, VeVe absolutely would need to go towards gamification. However, my perspective is, different companies have different niches. Pure play gaming companies come at it from one angle. VeVe has a lot of, core competencies and strengths that are related to IP, towards, all these other characters, towards community, towards all this stuff. So, I would love to see VeVe approaching gamification in a deeply customer-centric manner. They study the people who are coming in, who are in the platform, new people that they want to attract, what they like, and customize. Really keep that definition of gamification, light gaming, and gaming open and broad. And as they bring people in, learn and then make it happen. And my sense is that if they're able to do that successfully, this would be a tremendous platform that would not just bring in a lot of users, but retain a lot of users. But the short answer is yes.
All right. And then Omi Daily Burn, what do you think?
Yeah, just for me, like I was kind of saying before, I think from my answer is basically I said they don't, but if it is allowed customization, it technically is kind of gamification in the end. If you allow other people to actually create something like that, so it is for the main point, pretty much. I would say down the line, but initially just allow us to build worlds and stuff like that, or whatever we can build out of it. So that's for the most part, that's what I'm kind of thinking.
All right, Joe.
Yeah, I think what we did here is we kind of all came to almost some kind of a consensus that we want this to be more than just a glorified Discord, glorified showroom. We want it to have its own little thing that draws people in, especially brings in those new users. I think what we did, though, instead of saying it doesn't or it does, I think what we did was we kind of defined gamification, and then it doesn't have to be RPG or whatever. It could be something a little bit simpler. It could be a little scavenger hunt. It could be first to do this gets XP. It could be something that could assist with drops. Maybe a drop only goes to people who complete a task in the Veveverse. So I think as long as they have these ideas in mind and they're working towards them, I think that's where they'll see success. I think if they don't do that and they just decide, look, you can decorate your showroom with what you got and with these tools, I think that's where they're going to have a problem. Obviously, to start, that's what it's going to be. Get people used to the platform. People are going to learn how to use it, but there's going to be a point where people are going to find it stale at some point if that's all it is, and they're going to need to have these other things implemented or have some kind of a twist that separates it from general public and what people are used to. I mean, you got to disturb the space, right, in order to have something be game changing. So I think they'll get there. It's just I think now we understand, like, overall, or at least we've all come to that conclusion that gamification will be the way forward. And it might not be the gamification that you might have in mind, but I think at some point you got to have it.
Yeah, and I'm not even gonna say it because basically what Joe said. So I'm in line. I'm in line with that same opinion. I would like to personally thank Superstar Bones. Thank you for joining. Superstar Mo. Thank you for joining. Superstar MC1. Thank you for joining. Superstar Omi Daily Burn. Thank you for joining. We appreciate you guys coming on, having this discussion with us. I think a lot of the people in the chat really enjoyed this discussion as well. You guys throw some fists all the time, guys. We gotta get some AR fist throwing.
Oh, you guys catch me off guard. Hold on.
I'm putting one on. I'm putting one on.
You win every time. You win every time. What are we gonna do with that? We can't do nothing. We can't block
Rapid
that.
fire, baby.
No one.
This was a great chat, man. Listen, Mr. MC1, really good chance to talk to you. ODB, good to see you again, brother Bones, obviously, and Superstar Boy. This has been fun, man. We talked about it the other day, and I was looking forward to it. So awesome.
I think we could have kept going, but you know what? Yeah. We gotta cut it at some point, right? So we gotta do this again, then, and we gotta get more thoughts flowing, and we can talk about either the same topic, a different topic. But again, thank you guys all for joining. You know how much we appreciate you, and also everybody watching. If you haven't already, don't forget, become a superstar. Smash the subscribe button. Join the Superstar fam. Hit the bell notification button to get every single video, every single day. We do not miss. I don't know, Joe. What are we, over 600 at this point? I don't even know.
Oh, yeah, way over.
Yeah. We're every single day, 600 days straight over at least. So guys, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the bell. You never know what we're going to talk about. And also to our VIPs, thank you guys all so much for our support. Everyone, take care. Thank you, and we will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Love you.